think the losers are Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, because now they own Obamacare. They own it, 100% own it. And this is not a Republican health care. This is not anything but a Democrat health care.
And this president, whenever he runs into trouble, he points fingers. He's got to learn to lead. Look and see what he did wrong and try to improve himself. But that's not his way. He points fingers of blame.
All right, and the blame game does begin just hours after House Republicans pulled their health care bill amid rumors they didn't have enough votes to get it passed. I want to bring in Patrice Lee Onwuka, senior fellow at the Independent Women's Forum, and Jonathan Alter, MSNBC political analyst and Daily Beast columnist, also author of The Center Holds, Obama and His Enemies. Great to have you both with me. And Jonathan, let me start with you. Your response to what the president feels there is that the Democrats are the real losers in all of this. They get to own Obamacare.
Well, nice try on the spin there by the president. Nobody's buying that. You know, this is a political fiasco for him. But I do think that there is a silver lining to this cloud for Donald Trump, and that is that if this bill had gone through, there would have been a real wipeout in 2018, and he might have borne the brunt of it in 2020 when he was running for re-election, because it was hugely unpopular, 17% support for this bill. So in some ways, I think he kind of dodged a bullet here long term. And I also don't think it's going to affect his ability to get tax reform through. That's the conventional wisdom right now. And I think what he'll do is they'll just cut taxes on the wealthy. They won't close loopholes, because when Republicans control the White House, they don't care about deficits, and they'll get a tax bill through much more easily than people think later this year.
Patrice, what do you make of that? Because right now we're seeing Republicans have control of the White House, the Senate, and the House, and they couldn't do something that they said they wanted to do for nearly 8 years, which is repeal and replace Obamacare. Do you think that they can come to consensus for tax reform?
Well, I do think that they can. I mean, tax reform is going to be the issue that everyone comes together, because we have higher taxes, and we want to see the economy grow from the meager growth that we've seen under President Obama into something that would really generate jobs for Americans. Now, I'll agree with Jonathan on a couple of points, and one being, of course, on the tax reform piece. But also, I'll agree that we have an opportunity that the administration struggled, and that it was hard to get through Obamacare repeal. But the issue, which I think was highlighted, is that all conservatives wanted to repeal a bad bill, which is Obamacare, and Democrats they're going to have to wear that. It was the question of how do we move forward. And I think that's where you see some differences in philosophy on the size and the role of government in health care. I think it's a healthy dialogue.
You're talking about the replace part. That there was a repeal, the judgment was there about repealing it, but there was no craft in what to replace it with.
Yeah, there are different differences across the board with conservatives on what replacement should look like. There are those who thought it needed to be a one-size-fits-all kind of big package deal. There are others who believed in a much more targeted solutions that hit at very specific areas of healthcare that needed to be reformed. So I think we saw some differences here. We'll probably see maybe a few more differences in tax reform, but I think the conservative world will come together on that.
To say differences, Thomas, is putting it rather mildly. I mean, the president was sabotaged by his own party on this, by the Freedom Caucus. And, they have this idea that somehow the United States can be the only country in the world that has a pure free market system for health care, which doesn't work. I think the president, who in the past has understood that it doesn't work for health care and was actually a supporter of single payer going back some years, I think he understands that after a decent interval, he will negotiate with Democrats to fix Obamacare, fix what's wrong with it, now that they have decided not to destroy it. So it's incumbent on the Republican Party, which is now in control of the government, to not sabotage Obamacare. It was almost like they're wishing for it to fail. You're talking about people's lives here, and they need to get on with the business of fixing it, not trying to wreck it, since they've already.
But Jonathan, we know that there's been sabotage. Hold on, guys. There's been sabotage kind of baked in from the very beginning of this, because Republicans have not wanted it to succeed, and there were slow rolls on state exchanges, and there have been issues that haven't been fixed because of this.
Yes.
But Patrice, to you, does that hurt Donald Trump, who in many interviews said that he wants to see everybody covered. He wants to believe and knows that this is a life and death issue for many Americans and doesn't want folks left hanging in the wind. Isn't that a problem?
Well, I mean, it was a big promise to make that and to ensure that every single American has coverage. But health care is a very personal thing. The challenge with Obamacare to begin with, though, is that it eliminated the plans that many Americans had. I can point to historically black colleges where students lost their plans because of Obamacare mandates. So, you know, to move forward to where we're at today, yeah, it's going to be a challenge to figure out how we ensure that everyone continues to be covered. But keeping Obamacare is not necessarily the way to do that.
Look,
and frankly, it's not going to work.
Patrice, this is what is clear now. Obamacare, as Paul Ryan said, is here to stay. So Republicans need to give up the ghost of destroying Obamacare and get on with the work of fixing Obamacare. This is a critical moment for Republicans. They're governing. They need to stop trying to destroy Obamacare.
And we know that President Trump has put out, you know, this open invitation to work with Democrats in the future. We'll see if Democrats take him up on it. Patrice Lee Onwuka, great to have you on. Jonathan Alter, as always, nice to see you, sir. And thanks to all of you at home. That's going to do it for me this hour. I'm Thomas.